Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Millennium Stadium in Featherstone, where we're here to bring you live uninterrupted commentary of this pre-season fixture between Featherstone Rovers and the Huddersfield Giants. Get all the action live on FRTV. Featherstone come into this game off the back of an enormous 88 points to 10 win in the Challenge Cup last time out against amateur side Waterhead. But they face their toughest task in the pre-season so far in the shape of the Super League side, Huddersfield Giants, who haven't had the best preparation, a few weeks out from their Super League season with a number of players injured, either in pre-season match against Bradford or in training, missing a number of key personnel. But Featherstone as well, not ideal preparation for this game. We'll go through the team news shortly. But James Ford able to only call on 16 players due to illness. There's a swept through the camp, which meaning Featherstone only able to field 3 subs this afternoon. So a tough task, arguably made harder, but Featherstone come into the game in good form after impressive wins over Ghoul Vikings. Impressive display in the opening half against Dewsbury before floodlight failure cut that game short. And as I said, a big win over Waterhead last time out. And a largely new look squad for James Ford. Had plenty of run-outs to try and build those combinations before they take on Doncaster in the opening game of the Championship in 2 weeks' time. But of course, a clash in the Challenge Cup with Ince Rose Bridge next week. So a very busy early season schedule for Featherstone before the season gets underway. As I mentioned, we've got the team news in. And as I said, illness, meaning a number of players from last week dropping out. James Ford making 5 changes to the lineup this afternoon with Carlos Tumavave, Connor Wynn, Gadwin Springer, Will Jubb and Sitaleki Akawala all dropping out of the lineup. Coming into the side this afternoon is Gareth Gale, Zach Herring, King Vuniyayawa, who gets his first run out for the club, and Johnny Openshaw, a successful trialist, comes onto the bench. So Featherstone line up like this. Callum Turner is the fullback, a 3-quarter line of Daryl Alforts, Caleb Akins, Bailey O'Connor and Gareth Gale. Ben Reynolds partners Zach Herring in the halves. Up front for Featherstone, King Vuniyayawa, Connor Jones, Jimmy Beckett, Josh Hardcastle, Toby Boothroyd and Clay Webb rounding off the starting side. On the bench for Rovers, of course, Johnny Openshaw, Robson Stevens and Jordan Williams. Well, Luke Robinson makes a number of changes to his side as well, the side that were beaten by the Bradford Bulls in their only previous pre-season fixture 2 weeks ago. Aidan McGowan, Adam Swift, Liam Sutcliffe, Leo Lum, Logan Blacker, Marshall Land and Jacob Algar all dropping out of the side. Of course, in this part of the season, there's always a number of changes. Big extended squads often field for pre-season fixtures, and Huddersfield are doing just that. Into the lineup for the first time for Huddersfield come Jacob Gagai, a big inclusion from Australia, with Kieran Rush recalled in the halves after missing the game against Bradford through injury. Joe Greenwood also into the starting side, and on the bench, Luke Robinson brings in Tom Deacon and Darius Carter. So Huddersfield line up like this. Jacob Gagai is the fullback. 3-quarter line of Elliot Wallace, Jake Bibby, Sam Halsall and Connor Carr. Leo Ward partners Kieran Rush in the halves. Up front for the Giants, Fenton Rogers, Ashton Golding, Joe Greenwood, Jack Murchie and Sam Hewitt and Harry Rushton round off the starting side. Sam Hewitt will captain the side this afternoon in the absence of the injured Leroy Cudjoe. On the bench for the Giants, George Flanagan, Matty English, Oliver Wilson, Tom Burgess, Jack Billington, Jack Bibby, Tom Deacon, Max Merter, Bo Morrison and Darius Carter. So as I said, plenty of numbers to choose from Huddersfield. A lot being made about the players that they are missing, but having read through that squad, plenty of quality, plenty of top-level quality there to test Featherstone. As I mentioned, this will be Featherstone's toughest task in the pre-season. The formidable Huddersfield Giants. A lot of people have tipped them to struggle this year, but still plenty of quality to come back into the side. Of course, the names like Zach Wolford, Adam Clune, Tui Lolohea, Leroy Cudjoe, the most noticeable absentees from the side this afternoon. And they'll be looking to bounce back after a disappointing and underwhelming defeat against Bradford Bulls 2 weeks ago on home soil. Featherstone coming off the back of that huge win against Waterhead, as I mentioned. A little bit of history between the two sides. These two sides haven't met in any forms of competition, whether that competitive or friendly, since 2016 Super 8s, which Huddersfield came out comfortable winners. And the Giants haven't actually played at Post Office Road since the old Northern Ford Championship competition in 2001. So the stage is set. The West Yorkshire derby, an unlikely one that we haven't seen for a while, but Featherstone Rovers versus Huddersfield Giants will have all the uninterrupted commentary as they get ready to get the game underway in just a few minutes' time. Just looking at the squad that James Ford has assembled, a lot of player turnover in the off-season, and as many, I know, the competitive fixture last week against Waterhead, as many as 10 players made their debut last week, and a few new faces in King Vuniyayawa, another run out for Zach Herring this afternoon in the halves, young Australian, and the ever dependable Gareth Gale recalled to the side. So some big ins, but some noticeable absentees from the lineup last week. As James Ford looks to build those combinations, it's always the challenge with squads that are ultimately got a lot of new players. How are they going to bond together? How are they going to gel, getting that continuity in the lineup? And we'll see how Featherstone rise to the challenges thrown at them this afternoon. It's a lovely sunny afternoon, February afternoon. It's cold but dry and good conditions given this time of the year for some free-flowing rugby. Interesting to see how Ben Reynolds goes with young Zach Herring. I believe had a run out against Gould a few weeks ago. One of the off-season signings from Australia. Clay Webb, of course, the other from Australia, starting at loose forward once again. Impressive against Waterhead. And interesting to see how Johnny Openshaw goes this afternoon as well as a successful trialist. He gets his chance again this afternoon. And this all building in nicely. Featherstone trying to build momentum going into the season. Ince Bridge next week in the Challenge Cup will be their last opportunity after this one to fine-tune things before the season opener in 2 weeks' time against Doncaster. And 27 weekly rounds ahead. It's a grueling fixture list. It's a long season. And James Ford opting not to take any chances with players that are 100% this afternoon, as I mentioned at the top of the commentary. Illness sweeping through the camp. Featherstone only able to field 16 players. As we await the arrival of the two sides onto Post Office Road here, the referee, the man in the middle this afternoon, is Ryan Cox. And we're nearly ready to receive the two teams onto the field. Looking a bit more at Huddersfield side, of course. Quality missing, but quality in the side. Jacob Gagai, of course, the brother of Origin star and former Australian star Dane Gagai. Kieran Rush, promising young half, comes back into the side. Missed the game 2 weeks ago against Bradford with an injury. Joe Greenwood, plenty of experience, back into the front row. And three reserves players in Max Murter, Bo Morrison and Darius Carter all get a chance to impress Luke Robinson as the Giants come out onto the field in their usual largely maroon strip, and Featherstone come out in their predominantly navy strip with white trim. Big opportunity against quality opposition here. The people to really put their hands up for a jumper for the opening championship round in 2 weeks' time. Small matter of a Challenge Cup fixture next week as well, but you get the feeling that out of the busy pre-season schedule that Featherstone have had, this is the biggest test. James Ford will be looking for players to step up. Both teams are out on the field. Huddersfield will have first use of the ball. Featherstone attacking from right to left as we see it live on FRTV. Featherstone Rovers versus Huddersfield Giants. The boot of Callum Turner gets the game underway. Gagai underneath it, hands it straight off to Greenwood, straight into the teeth of three Featherstone defenders. No surprise to see Jimmy Beckett first up in the thick of it. Goldingwaite's at acting half. Hewitt, captain for the afternoon, backs into two-man challenge. Goes down just shy of 30-metre line, Huddersfield side of halfway. Ashton just scampering out a dummy half, trying to catch the markers, napping early there in the opening exchanges, just keeping people alert. Rush waits at acting half. Huddersfield up to their 40. Flat pass to Rushton. Jones in on the ball there with Webb to bring him down 5 short of halfway. A couple of tackles remaining for the Giants. Going to kick early here through Rush. Low trajectory kick down the line. Takes a few bounces. And Turner does well, holds his composure to pick that up and takes possession cleanly for Featherstone. So Huddersfield getting through their first set. No real dramas. Featherstone start theirs 20 metres away from their own line. Here's Alforts. Off-season signing from Wakefield, one of a couple of former Trinity players in the starting lineup. He'll play the ball 25 short of his own line. Gale now. This is what he's good at, these big play 2, play 3 carries. Picks up a couple of extra metres. Murchie in over the top on him. Good tackle in there from three-man Huddersfield tackle. preventing the go forward there of Josh Hardcastle as Vuniyawa, his first carry in Featherstone colours, and it's a good one. A few metres after contact up and over the 40. He'll play it centre field. Jones waits an acting half. Last one for Featherstone. Herring has plenty of time to kick it. End over end kick. This one will be cut off 15 short by Elliot Wallace. And Wallace put to ground on his own 20. Plays it now. Rush gives the short ball there. But the Huddersfield man cut down in the tackle of Herring and Jones. Come forward in the shape of Fenton Rogers now. Carry through the middle. Come forward again here. This is Rogers, in fact, who's upended. Good solid tackle by Vuniyawa. Huddersfield up to halfway. A couple of tackles still to come again. Murchie hits that flat pass. Good tackle underneath from Toby Boothroyd. Huddersfield with a little bit of momentum here. The ball comes back out to Rush, kicking on the last. High hanging kick, taken again by Alfords in the corner. Alfords crabbing across field, gives the ball out to Turner. Turner had to be alert, but the Huddersfield defence equally as alert there, and a four-man driving tackle. Pens him backwards. And Featherstone having a start deep inside their own territory here. Alfords' route one carry takes on Golding. That's a big carry, best part of 15 metres upfield. Really relieving run there from Alfords. Akins operating in the centres this afternoon. The beauty of Caleb Akins, able to deputise effectively anywhere he's needed. They come forward. Webb keeps hold of it into the teeth of the Huddersfield defence. Put to ground there by Greenwood. Trying to make their way up to the halfway line here. Beckett, route one, big carry again. Really picking out Golding, making him work overtime and up and over. In fact, just shy of the halfway line on the last. Salvaged a good set here, Featherstone under pressure. Herring puts it high once again. That's taken on the full and it's knocked on, in fact, by Gergai. First real involvement for the Huddersfield fullback. His first run out in Huddersfield colours, in fact. And really missing the assignment there. A poor error, not under any real pressure there. Herring having to kick under pressure with just under 4 minutes gone. Featherstone 0, Huddersfield 0, but that error giving Featherstone the first real opportunity in territory. So, Featherstone now will have the scrum feed, 10 metres out, bang in front of the post. Ball comes out. Reynolds is first receiver. Flat pass there for Bailey O'Connor, another one of the new faces in the Featherstone lineup for 2025. He's wrapped up 5 metres out. Out it comes for Hardcastle. Hardcastle was virtually ever present last year after missing loads of rugby the previous season, and he might have got the ball down there. In fact, he reached out, but he was just able to ground it short. Jones fires the ball out. Beckett, centre field, out to Herring. Herring, dummies, starts to step off his right foot. Golding up there quickly to shut him down. Puts him to ground, 12 metres out. Featherstone just losing their way a little bit on that play. And it's a slow play, the ball there. The referee allowing it to go on. Jones waits an acting half, gives it short for Vuniyawa, just puts the bumpers up, trying to rumble his way up to the try line. He's taking defenders with him. He's going to go very close here, but he hasn't got the ball down. He'll play the ball bang in front of the upright, still tackles in the bag. Featherstone come left, out the back it goes to Reynolds. Reynolds looping Harbour Bridge pass out to Gale. Gale one-on-one, has to cut back in field. The Huddersfield defence was hungry on the inside. He's still going, Gale. Looking for some options up the middle. Ashton Golding eventually brings him down. Last tackle for Featherstone. Options left and right. Which way will they come? It comes right through Herring. Herring, short pass there for Boothroyd. But Boothroyd is wrapped up in a solid tackle over the top from Hewitt. And Huddersfield survived that first examination of their try line. We've had 6 minutes gone here at Post Office Road. It's Featherstone 0, Huddersfield 0. You're watching live on FRTV. As Gergai looking to make amends for that earlier error. Plays the ball quickly for Rush. Wallace skips into the line. He's stopped and dropped there by Clay with help from Beckett. Carr now, Connor Carr coming forward into the arms of Hardcastle and Vuniyawa. 3 tackles gone, Huddersfield still deep inside their own half on the 30. This is Rogers, good shot up and over the top there from Webb, good contact from the Australian. Stopped him in his tracks. Rush at first receiver. Gives the ball out to Hewitt. Hewitt's gone backwards. This is a good physical defensive set from Featherstone this time. Really holding Huddersfield deep inside their own half. Rush will kick from the last. Hooks it back in field. Taken on the full by Turner, who's got Gale with him. He's not going to use him, I don't think. He's going to keep hold of it. Steps into the line. He's put to ground in a combination of Greenwood and Rogers, the defenders there. So easily Featherstone's best defensive set of the game so far. Gale. Stopped in his tracks there in the tackle of Murchie. Golding. Hardcastle comes forward again. Keeps the head down and advances it all the way up to 5 short of halfway. Just the third tackle for Featherstone. Clay Webb gives it on to Vuniyayawa. Vuniyayawa up and over the halfway line, put on his back by a trio of Huddersfield defenders. Jones waits at acting half. 2 tackles to go. Herring just gives it on quickly for Boothroyd. Boothroyd taking defenders with him. Eventually goes down 30 metres away from the Huddersfield line. This is the last one. Herring has done the majority of the kicking so far. Puts it high once again. Looking to put Carr under a bit of pressure. Carr takes it well with help from a couple of would-be blockers there for Huddersfield, you imagine, but not raised by the referee. Bibby. Jake Bibby. Brother Jack on the bench. Will be introduced at some point. Wallace. Upended in the tackle. That's a strong bit of defence there from Boothroyd, and Herring in over the top lets him know about it as well. Huddersfield with a quick play of the ball, though. Rush shuffles it on. I believe that's Halsall playing the ball. Ball comes back in field to Murchie. Murchie out the back it goes. Out to Bibby now. Bibby trying to go on the outside of O'Connor, but O'Connor does well to cut him down 10 metres in from touch. Ball comes out now to Rush, who's done a lot of the kicking, took the pass from Ward. This one will be an easy one for Alfords. End-to-end stuff here so far in this game. Really attritional, as we often see in these early season fixtures. Both sides just feeling each other out, trying to get through their sets. Featherstone perfect with their completion so far. Huddersfield just the one mistake as we approach the 10-minute mark. Still 0-0 here at the Millennium Stadium. Featherstone in possession. Akins plays it. Jones finds Turner. Turner just takes on the Huddersfield defence there and puts the ground in an uncompromising shot there from Golding and Murchie. Rushton in there to help as well. Into Huddersfield territory, come Featherstone. Nice run there from Hardcastle, who's got Ward going backwards and takes another 5 or 6 metres after contact. Still on his feet, can't be put to ground. Good physical stuff from Josh Hardcastle. Reynolds comes across field, out the back it goes to Herring. Herring, flat pass there for Boothroyd, who ran into space, but the door closed on him quickly by Kieran Rush. This will be the last one. 20 metres away from the line, Featherstone have had the better of the field position in the last few sets. Reynolds has to hook it back across the field. Bounces into no man's land. It's picked up by Vuniyayawa, and eventually they'll just be waved as a turnover there by the referee. So neither sets of players able to put a decisive claim for that ball. And in the end, Vuniyayawa just spilling possession, trying to pick it up. Huddersfield take over possession. Connor Carr now. Bent backwards, good defence on offer from Featherstone. Really growing into this contest physically, Featherstone. Good shot over the top from Webb once again. Wallace gets the same treatment on the next play. Boothroyd, the chief tackler there with Akins. Still inside, just on their own 10-metre line after 2 players, Huddersfield. Come forward through Halsall, trying to get them going in the right direction. Operating in the centres this afternoon, in the absence of Liam Sutcliffe. Golding, Murchie, it's the ball on. It was Carr running into space. In fact, it was Fenton Rogers, I beg your pardon. As Rushton gives it on to Greenwood. Greenwood put to ground there in a solid tackle from Webb again. Really making his presence known. This is the last one. Comes out short side, and they've made a mistake in the play of the ball. Joe Greenwood, the man, was getting all sorts of attention over the top from Webb and just making that mistake. And out of the two sides, the composure and patience has very much been with Featherstone. No points on the board just yet, but another mistake inside their own half from Huddersfield. Again, gives possession and an opportunity to attack for Featherstone once again. 10 minutes gone here at the Millennium Stadium. Still yet to see the scoreboard troubled from either side as Vuniyayawa takes that first carry. Put on the ground by Murchie. They come left, Reynolds. Reynolds off his left foot, looking for an option on the inside. He's put to ground there by Greenwood. Over the top was Murchie once again. Webb, short pass there for Beckett. Beckett backing into the line, put to ground by Rushton. 20 metres away from the line, still tackles up their sleeve as Reynolds takes it out the back. Finds Turner, there's a bit of an overlap here. Turner cuts back against the grain, looking for space, looking to straighten things up, gives it to Webb. Webb goes down in the challenge there. Submits to the tackle in the middle, 10 metres away from the line. Reynolds back on his feet after taking a shot earlier. First receiver is straight back into the action. Out the back it comes to O'Connor. O'Connor in quickly to meet him was Connor Carr, who did enough to shut down the danger. Last tackle, 10 metres in from touch, 5 metres out. Spin the ball back in field. The kick's coming here from Reynolds. It's a nice one into no man's land, but it's taken well there by Hewitt over his head. Very acrobatic stuff, looking for his support. He's beaten Turner, he's up and towards the halfway line, and that's a great chase back from Vuniyayawa. Needed to be as well. He releases him quickly. Huddersfield have a little bit of room now to run as Rush pitches 10 metres. Featherstone just about got it back on side now. Turner brings him down, but 2 players gone. Huddersfield now with their best field position of the game as Rogers offloads out the tackle. Ball comes to Rushton. Rushton dummies, cut down by Webb. All of a sudden, Featherstone find themselves under pressure defensively for the first time in this game. Golding, dummies, tries to split the markers, can't do so. Webb closes the door on him. Inside the 20 now for the first time. What have Featherstone got defensively is Greenwood, route 1. Great tackle down low by Hardcastle. That'll be the 5th and last. They're 10 metres out, bang in front of the post. They come right. Ward, out the back to Gergai. Gergai, early ball to Bibby, tries to go outside O'Connor. He's beaten him just about, but he did just enough to bring him down with help from Gale. Pulled him down a blade of grass short. And that defensive desperation would be pleasing for James Ford there. The first time they've really been asked any real questions defensively off the back of that Hewitt break. But now they've got a difficulty of getting away from their own end as Gale is bundled backwards inside his own 10. Hardcastle trying to do that tough stuff. He's got plenty in attendance up and round his head there, Ward, and he eventually gives away a penalty. First penalty of the game. And it was for that just unnecessary pressure around the neck from Leo Ward, I believe it was. And a relieving penalty and a frustrating penalty if you're Huddersfield and Luke Robinson, because they had Featherstone for the first time pinned well inside their own half. Featherstone did a great job in this opening 13 minutes or so to get upfield. This time being given a piggyback, and they start with possession on their own 40 through Beckett. Took the ball in the middle of the field and he was immediately met by his opposite number, Greenwood. Webb digs into the line, standing in the tackle clear. Webb still going forward, up and over the halfway line. He takes 3 Huddersfield defenders. Energetic stuff from the loose forward so far in this one. Herring quickly passes out to Boothroyd. Boothroyd dummies, taking on Kieran Rush. Certainly a target in defence on that far side for Huddersfield, but stands up to the task on this occasion. Herring hands the ball on to Vuniyayawa. Vuniyayawa in traffic. Stands in the tackle. He's driven sideways. The referee eventually calls held. Huddersfield have to release him. 40 metres out now, Featherstone. Webb. Flat pass there for Beckett. Beckett picked up and dumped there in the tackle of Murchie. This will be the last one. Haven't made too many metres with the ball in this set. Reynolds does the kicking. Dinks it in behind the line. It's an awkward bounce there. The gay guy does well to clean things up. With Hardcastle in attendance. Salvages possession for Huddersfield as Carr comes forward, beats the tackle of Vuniyayawa, but can't get away from Boothroyd and Beckett. 15 minutes out, he'll play it. Wallace takes that carry centre field, gets up and plays it quickly. Jones left on the deck. Golding gives it to Greenwood. Real arm wrestle this one in the opening quarter of this game. Still no score. Featherstone 0, Huddersfield 0 if you're joining us on FRTV. Rush doesn't know what to do with it, just stands, stutters and takes a couple of further metres forward. Vuniyayawa, chief tackler there with Boothroyd. Flat pass there for Rushton, gives it to Ward. Ward doing a bit more kicking in the last few minutes. Hoists it over the top. It's knocked backwards there by Gale, back behind his own line. Picks it up cleanly in the end and takes the ball forward and will be wrapped up 15 metres from the line as James Ford makes the first couple of changes, with Jordan Williams and Robson Stevens into the action in place of King Vuniyayawa and Jimmy Beckett. So looking to freshen up his front row rotation early in this one. Hardcastle takes the ball. An untidy play, the ball from Hardcastle. He giving us a knock on there, and it's often we see the case there, just not getting his foot in the right place, rolled the ball forward slightly, and you often see that given against the team in possession. And Featherstone's first real mistake in this game. He's 16 minutes in, and Huddersfield with a cheap turnover have their second real opportunity in terms of field position in this game. They'll play the ball 30 metres from the Featherstone line. So big test coming up for James Ford's men, and that's a great shot first up from Stevens. The English player back over from a spell in Australia, looking to impress for Rovers, and that was a big contact first up, and he's straight into the action, and the second tackle there on Greenwood puts him on his back. Physical stuff from the Featherstone substitute. Rush crabs across the field, drops it off for Gergai. Gergai cut down in the tackle of Webb. Desperation stuff, and it had to be. He's cut down 5 metres short. Come back through the centre of the field. Rushton stands in the tackle. Defenders around him. Stevens managing to lock up the ball. Only third tackle for Huddersfield. They come out for Rush. Rush out the back it goes. Quick ball out there for Wallace. Wallace one-on-one with Akins. Finishes in the corner, but the touch judge flag is up. Caleb Akins, as I mentioned, operating in the centres. He doesn't normally play there. Did just enough to put Wallace into touch. He put a boot on the touchline as he was looking to launch into the corner. And that half chance goes begging for Huddersfield, but give a note to the desperation shown by Featherstone there to keep their line intact. The score remains Featherstone 0, Huddersfield 0. And Featherstone will have just to play the ball here 10 metres out centre field. Stevens now with his first carry of the game. As I mentioned, skinny squad for James Ford this afternoon. Only 3 players available on the bench, with their sickness during the week ruling out a number of players. Jordan Williams taking that carry, and Stevens is bundled backwards there. Really didn't have a lot of room to move as Greenwood and Rogers closed him down quickly. Hardcastle takes on Murchie, and Ward still keeping that ball carrying arm off the ground. Ward all over the tackled man. He's in the ruck as well. A really slow, untidy play of the ball, allowed to let go by the referee there as Turner, not for the first time, just takes the ball up route 1, trying to get some valuable metres for his side. Going to kick early here through Reynolds. Back over the top against the grain, but it's a really good kick, in fact. It's going to pull up a metre short of the try line, cut off by Carr, gives it to Gergai. Gergai looks to take on Jones, but Jones comes again to effect the tackle. Really good piece of eyes-up play there from Reynolds. A few Huddersfield players starting to walk a bit slow to get back on side. As Huddersfield play the ball there through Carr in their own 10. Halsall again, wrapped up by Stevens. Rushton gives it on to Greenwood. Greenwood just trundling that extra couple of metres forward over the 30, but only a couple of tackles remaining for Huddersfield as Ward gives it out to Rush. Rush out, the ball goes to Gergai, creating a little bit of room on this side of Halsall, who loses his footing. He's put to ground on the halfway line. That'll be the last one. So Rush does the kicking once again, end over end. A little bit of a tricky one, bounces on its point there. And the second bounce was kind for Gale, who was able to just take the ball cleanly. And Featherstone will start their set on their own 30 as we approach the 20-minute mark here at the Millennium Stadium. The score remains Featherstone 0, Huddersfield 0. Alfords with a carry. Driving Featherstone upfield. Akins comes off his right foot, beats the first man, can't get away from the attention of Rogers and Hewitt. First receiver now is Webb, distributing out to Reynolds. Here they come, Turner out to O'Connor, a little bit of space. O'Connor into the backfield, he's round Ward, he's got man in support for Reynolds. As Reynolds going to have the legs to get there, passes the ball back inside for Jones, who scores a terrific try. And the first points of the game go to Featherstone Rovers. It's a simple case of distributing the ball early. Early ball to Bailey O'Connor, who ran around Leo Ward, split the Huddersfield defence into the backfield. Reynolds was there in support. He wasn't sure if he'd have the legs. So instead of being selfish, he threw the ball back in field to the man who's always in support. Connor Jones went round the last man and scores under the post. And just like that, the deadlock is broken. We've had 20 minutes gone here at the Millennium Stadium. It's Featherstone Rovers 4, Huddersfield Giants 0. And hardly surprising to see Connor Jones getting on the score sheet, one of real prolific try scorer, given the position he plays for Featherstone, was among Featherstone's top try scorers last season as well. And just showcasing one of the reasons why, always there in support, reads the play so well. Huge praise to Bailey O'Connor there. Just got given the ball early from Turner. They went wide early, just beat his man one-on-one for pace, had the composure back inside for Reynolds. Reynolds equalled that composure, finding the man in support. There were Huddersfield defenders coming from everywhere. Kept his cool, and Jones did the rest, scoring under the post. And Reynolds now with a conversion attempt from bang in front to convert this from 4 into 6. And he does so. Scoreline now, Featherstone Rovers 6, Huddersfield Giants 0. As Luke Robinson goes to his bench, a trio of substitutions here. Ollie Wilson, Tom Deacon and Tom Burgess. In fact, 4 changes as Matty English has come onto the field as well. Changes being made are Harry Rushton, Fenton Rogers, Joe Greenwood and Ashton Golding. So a full forward rotation there for Luke Robinson. And most noticeably of those names is the experienced England international and former South Sydney player Tom Burgess, man mountain in the middle of the field, be looking to add some impact if he can, as they come forward now. Featherstone off the back of that restart. Big energetic carry from Williams, Jordan Williams, off-season signing from London. He was stopped on his own 10 by Wilson. Burgess straight into the action with the offload there to the try scorer Jones, who picks up another 5 or 6 metres there. Plays it 20 metres out. Hardcastle runs into the contact of English. Burgess in there to help out with Murchie down low. 3 tackles gone. Featherstone play the ball on their own 30. Stevens shapes, gives it out to Herring. That's a pass that's been flicked on by Turner. Wasn't what they intended, but it's taken a Huddersfield touch as well, so this will be a set restart, a bonus extra few tackles for Featherstone there, perhaps a little fortuitous, but they will take it. Turner doing a great job to just toe the ball on to Alforts and stop the play from breaking down. So this will just be the first tackle now for Robson Stevens, who's got English all over him. Plays it 35 out. Webb tries to stop and take things forward. English in there to wrap him up once again. 5 metres short of the halfway line.
Go to
Stevens. Out the ball comes to Reynolds. Reynolds drops off Hardcastle. Hardcastle runs straight into the meat of the Huddersfield pack there in the forms of Wilson and Burgess. There's some kilos in that tackle. He'll play it on the halfway line. Webb. Been really impressive so far on and off the ball. Claire Webb involved in everything. This time just takes a straight up carry 10 metres into Huddersfield territory. Featherstone leading by 6 points to 0. 15 minutes to go in this first half. Turner proving really handy with that fleet of foot in the middle, just keeping the markers and the air defenders guessing. Makes another 10-15 metres forward. Last tackle, 30 metres out now. Reynolds going to do the kicking, puts it high, looking to put Gergai under a bit of pressure here. Gergai gets a little bit of help, perhaps a little bit too much help, and the penalty goes against Huddersfield. And it's easy to see why there. Leo Ward clearly changing his line there to take out the chaser that was Josh Hardcastle. And Featherstone have a golden opportunity. It's an easy 2 points here if they want to make it an 8-point lead. But if they want to roll the dice and put Huddersfield under more pressure, they feel like they're in the ascendancy here. They're going to do that. As Williams takes the ball forward now. Put to ground by Burgess. Play it just to the right-hand side of the post. Looping pass comes out to Reynolds. Reynolds the ball there to O'Connor. Good defence up by Murchie. Helped out by Wilson. 10 metres to the left-hand side of the post. 5 metres out. 2 tackles gone. Low trajectory pass taken well by Stevens, but took the momentum out of his run there. He's put on his back a metre away from the line. Jones fires the ball out to Herring. Herring steps off his right foot, slipped the net there. Zach Herring, can he get to the line? He's over the line there, Zach Herring! Just takes the ball himself, slipped through the tacklers. As the referee awards it, really good eyes-up play. He's been happy to just distribute for the majority of this game, but then just came off his right foot, dropped the shoulder, went through the line initially and took 3 defenders over the line. And the young Australian gets Featherstone's second try in quick succession as they open up a crucial 2-score lead here as we approach the half-hour mark. It's now Featherstone Rovers 10, Huddersfield 0. Wonderful play from Herring, one of a number of new faces that we see at Featherstone. Huge personnel changes seen by Featherstone in the off-season. And Zach Herring got the number 7 shirt on his back. He'll be operating in the halves this season, showing why so far in the opening 25 minutes or so of this game he's been brought to the club. Really good distribution with the ball, solid defender and good on his feet. And really exposing the Huddersfield defence there. Just went straight through 2 defenders, and the strength and determination he showed there with 3 in attendance to take them over the line, spin out and get the ball down. Very impressive stuff from the Australian, as Reynolds has another simple conversion from just to the right-hand side of the post. Takes the score now to Featherstone Rovers 12, Huddersfield Giants 0. And the game that for the majority of this game been really tight, set-for-set stuff. High completions from both sides, not many penalties, but Huddersfield made to pay there for that penalty. Ill discipline, as we often see. Featherstone good enough to take advantage, and in a really blistering 2 or 3 minute spell have opened up a 2-score advantage heading in to the latter stages of this first half, as Reynolds pouches it safely on the try line, given to Jordan Williams again. That's a good cutting low tackle there from Murchie. Puts him to ground 10 out from his own line. Gale. Play 2 carry once again. Dropped in the tackle there of Burgess. Play it inside his own 20. Johnny Openshaw is into the action now for Featherstone, playing at dummy half. Of course, Will Jubb not available this afternoon. But Openshaw getting his chance in Featherstone colours this afternoon after a successful trial. Featherstone limited metres forward so far in this set. Turner, who has been good at making yards after contact, still on his feet. Callum Turner, so strong with the ball, still going forward. Impressing at fullback so far. Ball comes out to Reynolds. Reynolds kicking early once again. Doesn't get a great deal of length on this one. Gay's after it. And that's arguably Huddersfield's best defensive set of the game so far. And he's upended by Herring. And Huddersfield starting their set on their own 40. With Wallace now trying to back his way up to the halfway line. Goes down a couple of metres short in the tackle of Boothroyd and Stevens. Halsall comes forward again, leaves the man on the ground, but Openshaw comes again to put him down. Burgess now with his first carry, taking Openshaw with him forward. Swarming there in the Featherstone defence. He'll play the ball 30 metres out rather. Comes short side to Ward. Ward pass along the deck, picked up by Carr. Carr running into a little bit of space, and eventually the space closed by Hardcastle. That'll be the last one. 15 metres out. Bibby finds Ward. Comes across field, gives it out to Gagai eventually. The ball comes out to Wallace, doesn't know what to do with it, just dinks it along the deck, takes one bounce straight into the arms of Callum Turner. So that wasn't in the script there, but Kieran Rush, not sure what to do with it, just spun the ball out. And Wallace trying to manufacture something. Featherstone alert to the danger as Alfords comes forward, upright run, and he's bundled backwards once again. Huddersfield in the last few sets, down this end of the field certainly, able to get plenty of big men into the tackle. As Gale, fighting for every metre, put on the ground once again. Williams slipped before he met contact there from Murchie. And Deacon. Beckett comes forward. Hasn't had a break yet, Jimmy Beckett. Got those big minutes in him as we approach 9 minutes to go to the break. Score remains Featherstone 12, Huddersfield 0 as the kick comes down the line from Reynolds, picked up by Carr, and Carr has been very busy on the wing for Huddersfield. Comes forward once again. Featherstone trying to up the ante here defensively as Bibby comes forward up and over that halfway line. 2 carries and they're already into Featherstone territory. Should mention, of course, Huddersfield have caught coming down the hill in this first half as well. So terrific display from Featherstone so far. As Gegai plays it to English. English coming, winding up that run, runs at Openshaw with some help from Williams and Beckett. Advances the ball up and over that 30-metre line. Deakin, flat pass there for Wilson. Wilson looking to rumble over a couple of defenders. Williams comes again with help from Openshaw around the legs to halt his progress. Last tackle, 10 metres away from the line. This is Huddersfield's best spell of the game. What have they got in attack as Kieran Rush puts it high into the corner. Tapped back in field, it's tapped forward, and that will just be a turnover. He was able to get a free jump to the ball, but probably a yard too far forward there. Wasn't able to get a real claim on it. Gone touch and goal, and that will be a 7-tackle set and a 20-metre restart for Featherstone. Alfords with the first carry. And a drive forward. Deacon all over him. Openshaw shapes to go left, comes right. O'Connor played a valuable role in Featherstone's first try of the game, plays it just short of the 40, Featherstone side of halfway. Gale, big contact there as Gale just keeps going forward. Another couple of metres, just so difficult to put on the ground. Plays it quickly, Openshaw scampers out of dummy half. Tries to take on his opposite number, Deacon puts him to ground. 5 metres, Huddersfield side of halfway. A couple of tackles remaining, not the best pass out of dummy half, but Turner did well to keep hold of possession. And he goes down, put on his back by Wilson. Stevens. Stevens
5.
Inside the 30 now. This will be the last one for Featherstone, leading by 12 points to 0. 6.5 to go. Reynolds puts the kick high. Testing one for Carr, takes it well and is immediately has to go to ground, flirting with the touchline, but did well in the end to stay in field. And Featherstone have Huddersfield exactly where they want them, coming deep out of that corner. And they're there to meet Jake Bibby in defence. Ball comes out to Wallace, who juggled it. Eventually takes a couple of metres further forward. Huddersfield still trapped deep inside their own half, trying to get things going forward. Good tackle underneath there by Hardcastle on Burgess. Plays it quickly. Deacon puts it to Ward, double pumps, gives it to Bibby. Bibby, O'Connor's all over him, gets away from Hardcastle, trying to get away from Openshaw, but can't do so. Great bit of defensive play there from Openshaw. This will be the last one. Huddersfield kicking from their own 40. Going to go wide, in fact. And Rush, a little bit more room to move, has put the ball down. It's a decent kick, actually. They're going to have to be quick to cut this one off. In fact, it stays on its point in the corner there, and Turner collects it, gives it on now to Alfords, and Alfords is put to ground by the Huddersfield chasers. James Ford going to his bench, another couple of changes. Clay Webb, King Vuniyayawa on. As Jordan Williams and Robson Stevens come off. So just trying to keep things fresh here. Again, we should mention, for those just joining us, Featherstone playing with just 16 players. Illness throughout the camp this week. A number of players not available, but certainly don't seem to be affected by it at the moment, as they win another penalty in possession. Big carry from Hardcastle, and another big clearing kick coming for Featherstone, who lead the Huddersfield Giants 12 points to 0. Try scorers Connor Jones and Zach Herring, both converted by Ben Reynolds, if you're joining us live on FRTV. According to the clock here, we've just inside the last 5 minutes of this first half. And Featherstone so far have been squeaky clean with the referee. Penalty count, as I have it, 3-0 in Featherstone's favour. And that will be, the discipline will be a huge thing that's pleasing James Ford among many other things so far in this game, but still a long way to go. Featherstone in possession. Openshaw gives the ball out to Webb. Webb onto Beckett. Beckett standing in the challenge. Actually put to ground by Burgess. 30 metres away from that Huddersfield line once again. Herring. Ball goes out the back to Reynolds. Reynolds out to Turner. Turner tries to straighten things up and split the line. Can't do so, and another penalty coming for the contact off the ball on Ben Reynolds. Just a little bit ginger to get up there. It looks to be okay. And Huddersfield really not doing themselves any favours here. That's 4 penalties in succession now. And just really silly stuff there. Seen in the last 24 months or so, game's really been cracking down on shots on halfbacks. Ball carriers who've released the ball and relax. Reynolds is thankfully okay to carry on. And Jack Murch is actually going to be yellow carded for this one. So the referee deeming the contact was enough to merit a sin binning. And things going from bad to worse for Huddersfield. As they're reduced to 12 men now for the final few minutes of this first half. Featherstone can smell blood in the water here. They're just going to roll this on and try and build on this 12-point lead. Vuniyawa takes the penalty, and he was wrapped up 15 metres away from the line on just the first tackle. Openshaw fires the pass out to Webb. Webb onto Beckett. Beckett. Big contact there from English under the ball. In fact, it was Wilson, I beg your pardon. Plays it for Openshaw. Openshaw digs it to the line. Vuniyawa, that's a huge shot there from Burgess, who just swallowed up the Fijian front rower, but playing it quickly. Looping ball over the top from Reynolds now to Gale. Gale has to check his run back inside. Beats Ward. Just has to keep hold of it. Still going though, Gareth Gale. Standing in a 3-man Huddersfield tackle once again. Plays it. Openshaw. Ball comes out to Herring. Herring flat pass there for Boothroyd. He's got a little bit of room. Finds the offload for Erkins. And Erkins gets the third try. In fact, it's pulled back for a forward pass. Can you believe it? Boothroyd, who loves running into that wide right channel, took the ball. He spun out. He got his arm free. But the offload to Caleb Erkins was deemed forward. It was a call he must have got from the touchdown. The referee was right on the spot to call it straight away. And a half chance there. Featherstone thought they had their third try of the game, but it goes begging. And a real let-off for the 12-man Huddersfield Giants there, just a couple of minutes out from half-time. But Featherstone asking questions. They've had a couple of opportunities to an easy 2 points to nudge the lead further. They've opted to run it. They've come up with a try, and were so close to getting another one there. So really confident in their attacking prowess. Really putting the Huddersfield Giants defence under pressure. As Huddersfield look to clear their line now. I believe that's Darius Carter, the man playing the ball there. A few Huddersfield players with no numbers. Driven back again there. Good tackle under the ball from Webb and Openshaw. Burgess now. His career's into a 3-man tackle. Skittling defender, such a big man, Tom Burgess, but done a good job on him so far. Plays it 20 metres out. English. Out the ball comes to Rush. Rush to Gegai. Gegai, quick pass out there to Carter. Carter's space is closed down there by Akins and Alforts. Rush drops off English. English taking on Openshaw, who sticks to him, but not before he's taken a good 5 or 6 metres after contact forward, but that'll be the last one for the Giants. 5 metres short of the halfway line. Kieran Rush along the deck this time. Turner picks it up well. Comes across field looking to find some space, only finds the defensive efforts of Ollie Wilson. He's put to ground inside his own 20. Make it just a couple of minutes out from half-time here. The score remains Featherstone 12, Huddersfield 0. Featherstone could have had that important third try, but ruled out by the referee. As Hardcastle is put to ground by Ward. And Bibby on his own 40, middle of the tackle count. Vuniyawa takes on Burgess again. What a huge shot a couple of minutes ago from the big front rower, but keeps coming. What a battle that's become in the middle. Not a great pass from Openshaw as O'Connor has to go back for it. Does well to keep hold of things and just advances the ball almost back to where he was, and he's lost the ball there, so a little bit sloppy in that set. And Reynolds just has a word with Openshaw there. It's been pretty good so far since coming onto the field about 10 minutes ago, but that pass not the best, and O'Connor just trying to make the best of a bad situation and doubled up on the error, losing it in the tackle, and Huddersfield will end this half with a chance on the Featherstone 40-metre line, trailing by 12 points to 0. Featherstone will be desperate to keep their line intact in this first half, knowing that Huddersfield have been coming down the hill in this first 40 minutes. Featherstone will have that advantage in the second half. Scrum feed is won. Ward fires it out now to Rush. Rush gives it on to Halsall, gives it on to Gegai. Gegai beats a couple of defenders. He had Alfort's going backwards. Herring sticks to him and brings him down in the middle, 20 metres out. Hewitt now, good tackle from Vuniyayawa, puts him to ground. Deacon waits an acting half. They're inside the Featherstone 20. Rush crabs across field. Out the back it comes to Ward. Ward gives it to Bibby. Bibby, good defensive effort there from O'Connor once again. And rides him to ground. Really strong stuff. Once again there, fantastic effort defensively. And they've lost the ball, and that will be the half-time siren. In fact, we don't get a siren, just the referee's whistle. And that brings to an end a really impressive and industrious first half from Featherstone Rovers. It was a tough opening 20 minutes, which neither side really gave much. Featherstone really physical in defence and composed in attack, and eventually cracked the deadlock with a really fantastic try to Connor Jones after 20 minutes. Just 3 minutes later, Zach Herring taking on the line himself to double Featherstone's advantage. Huddersfield's frustrations went from bad to worse, with Jack Murchie put in the sin bin 4 minutes from half-time for a late shot on Ben Reynolds. Takes the half-time scoreline here at the Millennium Stadium to Featherstone Rovers 12, Huddersfield 0. Plenty to work on for both sides, but certainly James Ford and Featherstone will be the much happier with the two sides heading into the sheds at half-time. We'll take a very quick break here on live on FRTV, and we'll be back with all the second half action in a few minutes' time. Hello and welcome back to the Millennium Stadium in Featherstone, where we're at half-time at Post Office Road, and it's Featherstone in command here in their final pre-season fixture of the 2025 season. 12-0 they lead over Super League side Huddersfield Giants, an impressive first half display from James Ford's men. The 16-man Featherstone team, of course, just 3 fit subs on the bench to start this game. A lot been made of the players that Huddersfield are missing. But Featherstone doing a great job in the first half, and we're looking to go on with it in the second half here. Huddersfield with plenty of things to improve on. And Featherstone will have first use of the ball here, attacking from left to right as we see it. All the action here live on FRTV. And the kickoff is taken by Reynolds, popped up to Vuniyayawa, and acrobatic stuff from the experienced half-back there for Featherstone as Vuniyayawa plays it. First play of this second half. Hardcastle, you'd imagine he'll go the majority of, if not the whole 80 minutes this afternoon, given the personnel available. Beckett hands it on to Webb. Webb runs at Kieran Rush, put to ground with help there from Tom Burgess. Ball comes out now, out the back to Beckett. And it's O'Connor who's been impressive, took that ball on the inside there from Reynolds up and over the 40-metre line already now, Featherstone. The pass, an untidy one from Connor Jones, managed to pick it up and salvage possession, gives it on to Turner, who's been great physically through the middle, deputising at full-back this afternoon. He'll play it on the last tackle. Ball comes out to Reynolds, kicking from just outside his own 40. High hanging one taken on that touchline by Jacob Gegai, a mixed bag for Gegai in his first run out in Huddersfield colours. Plays it 20 metres out now. Connor Carr kept hold of it himself, driven back in the tackle of Webb. Huddersfield still on their own 20. And that's Halsall, put to ground by Aikens, who looked to have one of Featherstone's third try in that first half, but pulled back for a forward pass from the offload from Boothroyd. Score remains 12-0. As Wilson Big carry through the middle of the field. Just the introduction of him and Burgess have stiffened things up a little bit in the middle for Huddersfield as ball comes out on the last tackle. Rush under a little bit of pressure from Boothroyd, dinks the ball down, sits up on its point and cut off there by Alfords. Alfords met by a wall of maroon jerseys there. And he's put to ground 20 metres out. Herring, one of the try scorers in the first half, hands it on to Akins. Akins with that no-nonsense carry, one off the ruck. Jones fires the ball out. Turner hands it on now to Gale, who's busy in that first half. Gareth Gale, as he always is, will play the ball 30 metres from his own line. That's the 40-metre line, actually, as Featherstone looking to get the ball up to the halfway now. Funny Yawa will play it on that halfway line, bang in the centre of the field. Couple of tackles still to come for Rovers. Into the line was Reynolds, out the back, Turner, lovely ball out wide there, and Gale's away, but that's a fantastic cover tackle there, it has to be said, from Leo Ward on that far side, who's had his work cut out defensively. Not a big half-back by any stretch, and he was at fault for the break that led to Featherstone's opening score, but getting across well there to bring down the big winger and put him into touch. But nice bit of deceptive play there from Featherstone, with that right-to-left shift just about opening them up. Slow restart here, nobody in any real rush to get the game back underway. 3.5 minutes gone here in the second half at the Millennium Stadium. Score remains Featherstone 12, Huddersfield Giants 0 if you're watching on FRTV. Featherstone, the Challenge Cup game against Inks Rose Bridge next week, and then into the action Championship round 1 clash here against Doncaster. Huddersfield preparing for their Super League season. First Super League season under Luke Robinson as Rush goes forward, takes the tackle just inside the Huddersfield half, the Featherstone half rather, and he's picked up a little bit of a knock there, but seems to be okay to carry on as Wilson comes forward up to that 30-metre line in the centre of the field. Huddersfield making good metres in their opening couple of sets of this half so far, but that's a great tackle up and under on Leo Ward there from Reynolds. Took the sting out of the Huddersfield set there. Last tackle, Rush doing the kicking once again as he's clobbered there by Beckett. Taken on the full on that far side by Gale, but a penalty given against Featherstone there. Is that for the challenge on Rush? It must be. And that's actually Huddersfield's first penalty of the game. 45 minutes into the clash, and wasn't a lot in that. Beckett committed to the tackle. He seemed to take Rush to ground quite in a controlled manner, but deemed to have been late. We've already seen, obviously, Murchie sin bin for a similar challenge, and just speaking of which, Murchie has just returned to the field from the sin bin, so Huddersfield up to their full complement now as they're in possession. Ward fires the pass out now. Ball over the top there to Halsall. Good reading off his wing there from Daryl Alfords to close down the danger. If Halsall was able to get into space cleanly there was a half chance. 10 metres away from the line now, Huddersfield. Looking to get their first points of the game as Burgess tucks it under his wing, winds it up. Good tackle down low by Webb. Beckett over the top. Deakin shapes the ball out. Rush over the top pass there for Carter, who's hit high there by Alfords. And that's back-to-back penalties against Featherstone. Darius Carter, I think, the man with a half opportunity there. No malice in it whatsoever from Alfords, just scrambling to get across field and riding up a little bit high for the referee's liking. So this is easily Featherstone's biggest inspection of their defence. James Ford will be looking for a response here. And Huddersfield will just tap it and roll things on here. In fact, Rush just finds touch for no metres gained, and they will start 10 metres away from the line. Halsall taps it, gives it to Rush. Rush first receiver, gives it on to Burgess. Burgess clatters into the defence. He left Webb behind, but put on the ground in the end there by Beckett. Plays it 10 out. Deakin out to Rush. Rush out to Ward, taken by Murchie, who almost went without it. Did very well, in fact, to keep hold of it. Swallowed up by Hardcastle with Jones to help out. 10 metres out, Ward double pumps, gives it to Rush. Doesn't quite know what to do with it. Hewitt takes the carry in the end. bit stop and start the attack from Huddersfield there. He's picked up almost into a dangerous position, but they let go of him in the end. Herring in there to effect the tackle. Deacon onto Wilson. Wilson goes down. Good low tackle there from Vuniyawa. All hands to the pumps defensively for Featherstone here. Couple of tackles still in the bag for Huddersfield. Ward, flat pass there for Bibby into space. Put to the ground there by O'Connor and Reynolds it is. Last tackle for Huddersfield. Ball comes back centre field. Rush going to put the ball high to the corner. Looking for Carter. It's taken well in the in-goal area by Alfords. And Alfords has a little bit of space to wind up and take this 20-metre tap. Hands it on to Gale. He's not taken the ball on the mark, according to the referee. To the displeasure of the Featherstone faithful around the ground. The blue wall not happy with that one. The Alfords now with a more controlled restart. And great defensive work from Featherstone to keep their line intact. You'd have to say, if you were being critical, the Huddersfield attack didn't ask too many questions. And that kick at the end wasn't a good one from Huddersfield, but Featherstone keeping the pressure up with their defence and now looking to clear their line. Hardcastle. 8 minutes gone here in the second half. Score remains Featherstone 12, Huddersfield 0. And they've just made a mistake there. Hardcastle with, unfortunately, his second error of the game. Just losing the ball in contact there, and the momentum just, you feel, starting to swing in Huddersfield's favour in terms of field position and chances. Haven't been able to convert any of these yet, but if you keep giving a side with the star power and the quality in the Huddersfield lineup, chances, you're inviting trouble, and that mistake, a frustrating one for Featherstone. Huddersfield, incidentally, a make out have got a good half a dozen players that haven't seen any action yet to bring onto the field, so we'll see how that goes and progresses. But Luke Robinson wanting to see how the majority of his starters go at the moment, working on these combinations. Rush, first receiver, out the back it goes to Gegai. Gegai to space, gives the ball out to Carter, and there's another penalty now as Rush is on the deck. Shot off the ball, and there's all sorts now as people are coming in from everywhere. A bit of a scuffle, a lot of shirt grabbing and pushing. Players want to be careful here. There's already been a lot of talk so far this season about the disciplinary points being carried over. Remains to see whether the slate will be wiped clean this year, but if it doesn't, players can't be affording to get into hot water here. Any form of charge will result in an amplified suspension. Rush is back on his feet. Obviously, the Huddersfield players taking exception to that in-back play, and it'd be interesting to see what the referee does here. We've already seen Jack Murchie sin bin for a similar challenge on Ben Reynolds in the first half. And this is the second time Featherstone have been penalised for contact on the passer or the kicker. I wouldn't be surprised here if this is taken a little bit further. Referee wanting to crack down on things early in the season. 10 minutes gone here as we just take a quick break in action here while the two sides come together and compose themselves after that melee. Referee and touch judges just deciding what to do. Score remaining Featherstone 12, Huddersfield 0. Try scorers so far in this game. Connor Jones, lovely finish off a break. And then Zach Herring scoring with an individual try himself. As the referee calls out both captains, Ben Reynolds and Sam Hewitt.
Okay, boys, my turn to speak now, yeah? Okay, we've got an initial penalty for a late hit down here, okay, which we've played the advantage from, but we are going back to the penalty.
Okay, Sam, you've come running miles, in mate, and that's caused everybody to come in.
If we have players coming in again like that, I'll leave it for you boys to deal with now, okay? If we have players running in again, then we're going to take it further, okay? It's a penalty.
We're not going to see any more escalation from the challenge itself, which is good from Featherstone's point of view, so it will just be a penalty. As we saw in the first half, Featherstone getting all of the penalties. Huddersfield have had 3 of their own with no reply in the second half, so Featherstone inviting that pressure on themselves a little bit. Rush, who seems to have shrugged off that earlier knock, he's up to play the ball, to kick the ball into touch rather. And Huddersfield will start the set 20 metres away from the line once again. Yet to breach the Featherstone line. Featherstone, big test coming up once again defensively here. The action's been predominantly down this end of the field in this second half. Wilson comes forward, looking to spin out of the challenge, but Hardcastle and Jones, with help from Vuniyawa, eventually put him. He doesn't go on the ground, but they have stopped him as Deacon comes out wide. He's knocked it on there, Leo Ward. And the play continues as Gale into the backfield, and the referee has stopped play, and that's just the second tackle there. Leo Ward, a young reserves player, I believe he is, who's had a mixed bag. He's done some good things, but that one, a poor error out the back and a real let-off for Featherstone. So they keep their line intact once again. We've had about 10 minutes gone in the second half. The Millennium Stadium, Featherstone 12, Huddersfield 0. And this will be pleasing from James Ford's point of view. It's a sustained bit of pressure that Huddersfield have had. They haven't really looked like cracking Featherstone's defence at any point so far. Aikens now. That first carry off the scrum win. Takes a couple of metres forward. Alfords, big carry. A couple of changes for James Ford once again. That rotation again with Robson, Stevens and Jordan Williams coming onto the field for Vuniyayawa and Beckett. Just keeping those legs fresh in the middle of the field. Webb hands it on to Williams. Williams standing in the tackle, eventually put to ground there by Murchie and English. Webb comes off the right foot, just keeping the ball, driving forward, still on his feet there, Webb. Reynolds hoists it high. This will be cut off by Gergai. A couple of metres in from touch, 20 metres out on that far side. Loops the ball back infield to Connor Carr, who's ridden into the ground there by Williams. And Stevens helping out, fresh legs in the middle, having an impact straight away. As Carter put on the ground. Huddersfield still deep inside their own territory as Halsol's flattened in the shot there. Over the top from Aikens. Big physical stuff coming in from Featherstone once again. Wilson, who's been easily Huddersfield's most impactful forward so far, and finds an offload for English. On to Rush. Rush digs into the line, gives the ball out now for Halsall. Gives the ball out to Carter. Carter cuts back in field. They got numbers across there to cut him down, but not before he'd reached the 30-metre line. Huddersfield fire the ball back in field. Rush fires the ball out now to Ward, out to Gergai, quick hands over the top. It comes to Connor Carr. Door closed on him on the inside there by Hardcastle. Last tackle for Huddersfield. Kicking from 35 metres out, Ward just puts it high, looking to put Alfords under a bit of pressure, takes it cleanly, no real pressure exerted on him. Fires the pass out now for Turner. Turner looking to straighten things up. Murchie and Ward, the tacklers, to bring him down. 13 minutes of the second half gone. No change to the half-time score at Millennium Stadium if you're watching on FRTV. Featherstone Rovers 12, Huddersfield Giants 0. The defensive prowess Featherstone have had to show in this second half has been evident, keeping their line intact. Alfords with a slow ginger play of the ball there after the challenge from Huddersfield as Gale goes in for that next carry. Still inside their own 20 here, Featherstone. Webb. Out it comes to Herring, onto Aikens. Aikens got away from the first defender, but Hewitt comes the second time of asking and puts him to the ground on the 30. 3 tackles gone for the home side. Herring scampers out dummy half, put on the ground there by Deacon. Plays it quickly. Reynolds gets plenty on it. Through the middle. Taken there by Carr, who's done well at the back there. Straightens up the attack, and he's put to ground there 30 metres away from the Huddersfield line on the first tackle. Bibby. Jake Bibby. Yet to see brother Jack Bibby, who, from looking on the touchline, looks very similar to his brother. As Murchie comes forward, good tackle under the ball there from Reynolds. Helped out over the top by Hardcastle and O'Connor. On the halfway line they play it. Pass for Burgess, out the back it comes to Rush. Out to Gergai. Gergai just gives the ball early to Halsall. Cut down. A great tackle and a great read from Aikens. Plays it. Rush. Juggled it. Turns it underneath now for Wilson. Wilson looking to get the arm free. Standing in a 3-man tackle, eventually put on the ground there by Herring. A bit of pushing and shoving in the play of the ball here, and Wilson, interested to see which way the referee's blown a penalty, but interesting to see who this penalty is going to go to here. There was a lot of pushing and shoving, and clearly hands on the headgear of Herring from Wilson, not letting him go, and then a bit more pushing and shoving now. And there's a bit of a loose arm thrown there as Hardcastle and Hewitt come together, and players coming together again now, and this is spilling over the touchline and descending into a little bit of a farce, really. There was pushing and shoving initially, but plenty said by both. I imagine that the referee might... Well, I mean, both captains were warned about this conduct a few minutes ago, and we've had to have what's going to be another stoppage here for more pushing and shoving. I don't think there's anything more than pushing and shoving open-handed, perhaps, or perhaps a punch from Ollie Wilson, or at least perhaps the movement of an elbow. Not sure at this stage. We don't have the benefit of a replay, but there was certainly something from the big front row that inflamed things again. And as I mentioned, as it stands, any players, this is subject to change, but any players that have disciplinary points carrying over from last year will have them topped up with any charges. So Wilson wants to be careful here that the referee doesn't have grounds to go further. If there has been a punch thrown or an elbow, then he'll be in some serious hot water, but we'll see what the officials decide here. Both sets of players.
I've not seen the number of the Featherstone player that comes through.
It's 17, it's wet.
Cool their heads a bit.
You can see why they've been...
defender, it's Herring and Wilson from England, the
plenty of
biggest two
ball,
offenders in that incident.
Wilson not been able to do anything
Herring.
with it. And that's played right into Featherstone's hands, who've defended exceptionally well and not taking a backward step against Super League opposition. And there's going to be a card here for Ollie Wilson. It's a yellow card. So clearly deciding that there was no punch there, otherwise that would have surely been a red. Still having plenty to say to Featherstone players as he makes his way off the field, and the cheers and boos ringing around the ground as Wilson makes his way to the touchline, and it's Featherstone who are going to be sin-binned as well here and have a man sin-binned. I'm not sure who it is. It's Zach Herring, I believe. We can't quite believe it.
Okay, I'm going to speak to you guys to stay here when we're finished with this. Okay, we have got an accusation of a gouge, so that is going to go on report.
So Ollie Wilson is already off the field.
Thank you. You can go for the 10. He has been sin-binned.
Something has been put on report as well.
5 minutes ago about players coming in. Okay, it's now down to
Do we see looking for the referee as Zach Herring's made his way off the field for a sin-bin as well. It looks like there's been an allegation made of an eye gouge from the referee signalling there. So something has been put on report. We'll see what comes out in the wash after this game. But the penalty, the original penalty, stands. Herring penalised for the afters on the ground against Ollie Wilson. So after what feels like an eternity, we're going to get some rugby league played once again here as we approach the 60-minute mark here. Scoreline remains Featherstone at 12, Huddersfield Giants 0. You're watching, listening live on FRTV. Featherstone's final friendly fixture as Halsall is smashed in the tackle there of Boothroyd, and over the top with Stevens. They were ready and waiting for him. He had plenty of a role to play in that scuffle earlier on. The the Huddersfield captain. There's plenty of feeling in these first two tackles. Huddersfield in attacking position here, 10 metres out. Ward, out the back it comes to Rush. Rush to Gegai, spins in the tackle. Great tackle it is though, as Akins puts him to ground. Halsall stutters, skips into the tackle, runs around a couple of men looking for some space out wide. Bibby, can he get on the outside of O'Connor? O'Connor's ridden him to the ground well on the inside there. Been excellent defensively on that left centre, Bailey O'Connor. Ward, shape to give it to Burgess, gives it out to Rush again now. Familiar structure from Huddersfield. Halsall trying to go outside Akins. Akins scrags him to the ground. Last tackle coming up. As Rush on the last puts it to the in-goal area. It's taken there by O'Connor, who must chuck it out of the arms of Jake Bibby there. It was a good honest contest, but very good defensive play once again from Bailey O'Connor, and once again Featherstone's defensive line survives. Another huge tick in the column defensively, and the resilience shown as Hewitt comes flying out of the line looking to lift his side. It's Hardcastle Plays it. Turner. Just route one up the middle of the field here. Not many yards in the offering in these first 3 plays for Featherstone. And James Ford goes to his bench again. Jimmy Beckett back into the game.
5.
Salford plays it. Clay Webb is the man who's made way for him as Gegai takes the kick on the halfway line, and again Huddersfield just turning the screw in terms of territory, field position, as Luke Robinson goes to his bench for the final quarter. Kieran Rush is off and George Flanagan Jr. is on, the son of the current Keighley hooker George Flanagan, a former Huddersfield player of course. And he's onto the field in jumper number 29. Looks to be playing in the halves as Huddersfield looking to get on the score sheet for the first time in this game as we're into the final quarter, trailing by 12 points to 0. Flanagan, ball out to Hewitt. Hewitt standing in the challenge once again. Hard to put on the ground, Sam Hewitt. Plenty of attention for Boothroyd. Deacon scampers down that short side. The ball comes out now and Carter will score in the corner. It was a short side raid by Tom Deacon. The Featherstone defence caught napping, just a little bit slow to react there. The ball came through the hands of Hewitt, shuffled the ball on for Darius Carter, who punches down for Huddersfield's first score of the game after just 60 minutes of the contest here. And after being excellent for the best part of an hour defensively, Featherstone just brought undone there. Caught a little bit napping. Tom Deacon, the architect of that one, skipped out a dummy half. They haven't had much joy down the blind side, but this time just that quick run from dummy half, stripping the Featherstone defence for numbers. And Darius Carter, one of the Huddersfield reserves, taking his chance on that left wing, dots down in the corner. And George Flanagan, from this left touchline, has the opportunity to bring this back to a 6-point game, and he's just waved away to the right hand side of the post. So two score lead for Featherstone remains. Featherstone Rovers 12, Huddersfield Giants 4.
Ben. Thank you.
So how will Featherstone respond here after having their line breached for the first time in this game as we head into the final quarter? And that kick-off is not a good one. It's taken, it's gone out on the full. And Featherstone's discipline just starting to let them down a little bit in this game. As Flanagan finds touch on this near side, Huddersfield goes straight back on the attack. As Rushton, who's back on the field now, takes that straightforward carry up the middle, put on his back, 30 metres away from the line. The swing round to the left-hand side, Flanagan, first receiver out the back, it comes to Gegai. Gegai advances the ball up to the 10-metre line, taken by Alfords. That's just the second tackle. Flanagan, out the ball comes to Burgess. Burgess tries to spin out of the challenge, can't do so. Beckett sticks to him with Stevens. Flanagan again. Dummies, double pumps, ball out the back to Carter. Wasn't a good one. Carter just loses a little bit of ground and takes it back in field. He's done well to salvage possession and the set there for Huddersfield as they come forward again. English, short ball for Burgess. Burgess going to be hard to stop. It's a great tackle under the ball from Hardcastle to dislodge the ball there. And the big front rower loses the ball. Featherstone take over possession through Robson Stevens. And Hardcastle doubles up with the carry. Such a effective, hard-working player. Hasn't had a break yet, and that was a huge tackle on the England international. We had plenty of room to wind up as Featherstone look to get the ball down the field. Beckett comes forward. Put away by Deacon, 30 metres away from the Featherstone line now, middle of the tackle count. Stevens rumbling upfield, still going Stevens, just taking the ball an extra couple of metres forward, put on the deck there by Flanagan. That'll be the last one. Kicking from deep inside their own territory once again. Reynolds. Ball's gone over the top of Carr's head. That's a fantastic kick. Is he going to get the 40-20? He's not. Carr was just quick enough to cut it off. And takes the contact there over the top from Williams. And he's hurt himself in that tackle there, Connor Carr. Carter now, Huddersfield's lone try scorer, plays it. Halsall goes down just shy of Huddersfield's 40, 3 tackles gone. Deacon gives it to English. English tucks it under his arm, trying to get the ball up to the halfway line. Just about does so. Couple of tackles remaining for the Giants. Score remains Featherstone 12, Huddersfield 4. As Ward puts the ball along the deck, takes a couple of bounces. It's trapped on that 10-metre line. Turner didn't want it to go out of play and just submits to the tackle 15 metres away from the line. 16.5 minutes to go here at the Millennium Stadium. 8-point advantage to Featherstone. 16-man Featherstone, of course. A hell of an effort so far from the Championship side. Featherstone in possession through O'Connor, plays it 30 metres out. Hardcastle.
4.
Good carry. Up and over that 30-metre line. Reynolds is going to kick early once again here, looking for 40-20. They were kicked right back through the middle of the field. It's picked up by Gergai. Gergai looking for a little bit of room to wind up and takes the ball up over that 40-metre line. This has been a theme of the second half. The territory very much in favour of Huddersfield. We've seen the large parts of this game played at Featherstone's end and only been breached once so far. 15 minutes to go. 12-4 Featherstone's lead. Ward, dummies, tries to poke his nose through the line, looking for that offload, kept hold of it himself. Hardcastle affects the tackle. 40 metres out, Deacon. Short side play for Bibby. Bibby hands it on to Ward now, and Ward almost slipped the net once again. It was Gergai, in fact. Flanagan. Short ball there for Burgess. Burgess looking to wrap the arm round, and he just couldn't get the arm free. Desperate stop there from Beckett. It comes short side. Deacon is put on the ground, and in fact, it's just going to be the turnover. Huddersfield, they claim they had a man taken out there on suspicion as the play is stopped for an injury to Matty English. Certainly went down in back play without having the ball, but not sure there was anything in the challenge there. As Featherstone make another couple of changes. Webb, open short, and Vuniyayawa back on the field, and Zach Herring looks to have returned from the sin bin, as has Ollie Wilson. So both sides back up to their full complement. Just seeing here, hopefully not a serious injury for Matty English. Huddersfield don't need any more injury headaches. As Robson Stevens and Jordan Williams make their way to the sideline alongside Connor Jones.
No, it stops. It doesn't stop on that. They don't stop that.
And as Fenton Rogers, Jack Bibby and Jack Billington all making their way onto the field for Luke Robinson's side. Jack Murchie will come from the field alongside Tom Burgess.
They've just come back on.
Who will be the third Huddersfield man. Looks like it could be Matty English, which could be an injury, a forced injury change here. Don't know whether he was due to be substituted anyway, but certainly looks quite ginger coming from the field here. He is able to put weight on that knee. Ashton Golding into the action as well now. So English being assisted from the field. Tom Deacon off as well, so a host of changes for both sides. Hard to keep up with exactly who's come on and off the field at this point. Huddersfield with a squad of more than 20 players to pick from, and some of these younger players getting an opportunity now as Featherstone looking to clear their line. That was the last tackle and turnover on that previous play. So Featherstone keep their 8-point lead intact. 12 points to 4 they lead, heading into the final 13 minutes here at the Millennium Stadium. Challenge Cup action awaits both sides next week. Featherstone playing Inks Rose Bridge. Huddersfield playing newly promoted championship side Hunslet, before both sides get their respective championship and Super League campaigns underway. Ball comes out now to O'Connor. O'Connor done a stellar job in that left centre position with the new signings from Swinton. Caught the eye on a number of occasions with and without the ball. Reynolds to the line. Vuniyawa nearly went without it, did well to reel it in, but he was easy prey there for the Huddersfield forwards. Jack Bibby, one of the key defenders there. Ball comes out to Herring. First involvement since coming back onto the field. It's a high kick taken by Carter. Carter finds Gagai with the pass. Beat the first man in Beckett. Finished off there by Openshaw. Carter on that next play. Huddersfield's only try scorer, bent backwards in the tackle there. Good uncompromising defence still on offer here from Featherstone. Hitting as hard as they were in the opening couple of minutes. Rogers. Good shot under the ball there from Herring. As Wilson takes Vuniyawa with him up to the halfway line. Golding. Flat pass there for Jack Bibby. Still going forward here, Bibby. Pass comes out to Flanagan. Flanagan with a little chip over the top, looking for it himself. Picked up and knocked on there by Daryl Alfords. And the instinctive play that we often see from Flanagan forces an error from Daryl Alfords there. The ball just getting really big on him on the ground, really difficult one to pick up. And Huddersfield will have the scrum 10 metres away from the Featherstone line. Score remains, if you're joining us on FRTV, Featherstone 12, Huddersfield 4. A try for Huddersfield here could set up a grandstand finish in the context of the game. Featherstone will be desperate to keep this intact and finish their last pre-season fixture off with a win. Flanagan, first receiver. Out the back it comes to Gagai. Gagai looks to go around Akins. What a battle that's been. Akins cuts him down once again. Quick play the ball though for Flanagan. Double pumps, gives it to Rogers. Rogers stands in the tackle. Still going, Fenton Rogers. Literally harassed to the ground there by Webb and Openshaw. Bang in front of the post. Short ball for Greenwood, who's back on the field now. Greenwood going for the line. He's lost the ball in the tackle there, Joe Greenwood. And celebrations all round for Featherstone. High fives. They're forcing the error. Greenwood looking to promote the ball there. And comes undone, releasing the pressure valve once again. 11 minutes to go till full time here. Score remains Featherstone 12, Huddersfield 4. That all-important 8-point cushion. And Huddersfield, when they've had chances, and they've had plenty of them in the second half, just really haven't fired a shot attacking-wise. They got Featherstone on a short-side raid, and that has been the pick of their players with the ball in hand so far this afternoon. Featherstone have had answers to everything defensively, but Huddersfield's attack, for large parts, has been lacking in punch. And evident again there with a mistake close to the line as Gale looking to clear the try line now. Takes that first carry off the scrum.
Push in.
Slow play the ball. Openshaw. It's a Hardcastle. Standing in the tackle. It's actually been driven back, put on the ground there by Rogers. We'll play it 20 metres out. It's a slow play of the ball. Webb put to ground there. 25 away from the line. Beckett will play it 30 metres out. Again, deep inside their own half. Herring gives it to Reynolds. Reynolds out the back. It comes really nice ball from Turner to Akins. Akins cuts back in field. Had a little bit of room on the outside for Alfords there, decided against giving it. And will play the ball 5 short of halfway. Herring puts it high. Taken by Connor Carr. Still a few Huddersfield players yet to get any minutes this afternoon. Don't think we've seen Max Murtagh or Bo Morrison yet. Huddersfield not out of this one yet. 9 minutes to go. Featherstone need to be on their mettle defensively as Wilson comes forward, beats Vuniyayawa, who's left on the ground there. Gets up and shakes his head. Plays it on halfway. Golding skips out a dummy half. Taken. Wilson bumps away from another. Finds an offload, but this is swarming defence from Featherstone, who put Greenwood to ground. Rogers again. Has lost the ball in the tackle there, and it's a knock-on given against Huddersfield. As Featherstone celebrate again, their real tenacity in defence. Once again forcing the mistake from Huddersfield. Still having a few words to say to each other, Zach Herring and Ollie Wilson. That battle has carried on since both players came back from the sin bin. Featherstone assistant coach Paul Cook having to come between the two players there and just tell them to get on with the game. Scrum 35 metres away from, or 40 metres away from the Featherstone line. Score 12 points to 4 in favour of Featherstone. There's a little bit of a push at the back, open short, collects the ball eventually, gives it to Akins. Akins runs into the arms of Flanagan. Put on the ground on halfway. So this has been Featherstone's best chance of the second half to play some of the game at the right end of the field. Boothroyd crabs across field. He's put down by Lingham. Interestingly, I think we have seen Bo Morrison come into the game on the far side. So they come forward again. Vuniyayawa now, big carry. And the 6 again going against Huddersfield, hand on the ball. This is Featherstone's best chance. A try here will seal the game. As Hardcastle comes in, gives it to Openshaw. Openshaw will race away and score underneath the post. And that wraps up the game for Featherstone Rovers, surely. They've had absolutely no ball down this end of the field. Their first opportunity to attack the Huddersfield line, and they've come up with points inside the last 10 minutes. Fantastic play, they loaded it up. Hardcastle went through the gap, found Openshaw in support, who scored under the post. And that's the try that breaks the Huddersfield spirit now. The scoreline, Featherstone Rovers 16, Huddersfield Giants 4. What a performance this has been from Featherstone. 16-man Featherstone Rovers.
You can go, yeah, then we'll stop, yeah.
Have withstood every challenge Huddersfield have thrown at them. An avalanche of possession in favour of the Giants in the second half, as I mentioned. That has been Featherstone's only clear attacking set inside Huddersfield's half. And that man, Josh Hardcastle, who's played the whole game in the left-back row, stormed through the defensive line, firing the pass inside for Openshaw to score. And Ben Reynolds converts from bang in front to take the scoreline now to Featherstone Rovers 18, Huddersfield Giants 4. 14-point lead with just 5 minutes to go. Surely a step too far for a young Huddersfield side who've made a couple of changes in the background. I believe Max Murtagh has come onto the field now. And the game just unable to get underway at the moment. There's a Huddersfield man who's receiving some treatment, trying to work out who it is on that far side. They went down injured in back play in the wake of that try being scored by Openshaw. Waiting to see who it is. There's a think it might be Sam Halsall. Perhaps a shoulder injury. Yes, it is Sam Halsall. He'll be assisted from the sideline. They've already lost Matty English. That looks to be a shoulder injury. And Huddersfield can't take a trick for with in terms of injuries, losing another 2 players here, Matty English and Sam Halsall, now unable to finish the game. But Featherstone looking good in their final pre-season friendly, and the kick-off return is taken by Vuniyawa. Big robust carry from him again. Gale, play 2. Big carry once again from him. Beckett onto Webb. Webb goes down 20 metres out. 3.5 minutes to go. Beckett comes forward again. Beckett put to ground. 3-man tackle there by Huddersfield. Openshaw, the most recent try scorer. Herring dummies, looks to get the arm free, can't quite do so. He's put on the deck there by Greenwood and Deacon. Herring plays it. Turner, being rushed up on Turner. Turner through the middle of the field, finds an offload, still weaving in traffic. It's knocked down by a Huddersfield man. And it was Connor Carr who's been found to have come up with that error. And another set of 6 coming up for Featherstone inside the final 3 minutes here. And the result is going to go Featherstone's way. They'll finish their pre-season campaign, if you like, with a win. They're heading into purely competitive fixtures from next week. Challenge Cup followed by the season opener against Doncaster. And plenty to like about what we've seen from Featherstone in this game this afternoon. Plenty to work on, and a few concerns for Huddersfield and Luke Robinson. But Featherstone have been well worth this win as Turner gives the ball out to Gale. Gale down the touchline. Gale, can he find support on the inside? He might not need it. He's put down 10 metres away from the line on that far side. Just the first tackle. 6 again coming. Too slow on the play of the ball. Turner to Reynolds to Webb. Webb put to ground. 20 metres out. Beckett out, it comes to Herring. Herring to Boothroyd. Boothroyd's going to beat the man and score! And put the icing on the cake for Featherstone, who finished the game like they did. They finished the half like they did the first, with 2 quick tries. This time Toby Boothroyd scores. There's another scuffle in back players. Herring came together, this time with Ashton Goulding, who didn't like the attention that it was received. A few choice words off the back of that try, but a simple pass there from Herring to Boothroyd, who ran into that channel, beat his man on the right edge and scored in the corner. And an emphatic win now for Featherstone, who lead Huddersfield Giants by 22 points to 4. And Boothroyd looking already to be a very valuable signing for the Featherstone side. Operating on that right edge. Impressed for Wakefield last year in their promotional season. And already a few tries to his name in these pre-season fixtures. Gets on the score sheet once again. Herring just digging right into the line. Got on the outside shoulder of a Huddersfield defender there, just left him trailing in his wake, scores out wide, and Reynolds with a chance to maintain a perfect record here and push it out to a 20-point scoreline. And some shaking of the head, hands on hips from Huddersfield. It's interesting, and it's easy to see why as they splits the post once again. Ben Reynolds, 4 from 4 this afternoon. Scoreline now, Featherstone Rovers 24, Huddersfield Giants 4. As I mentioned, I used the word emphatic. It has been in the end. With the context of this second half, for virtually half an hour, Huddersfield had all the territory, all the field position, and all of the ball at the right end of the field. And yet, we're only able to come up with one score. Featherstone coming up with 2 of their own in the final few minutes, but they're looking to finish with a flourish here and have the final say as Connor Carr picks up the short kick-off. Deacon hands it on to Jack Bibby. Bibby plays the ball in the centre of the field. Can't be more than a couple of minutes to go now as Deacon fires the ball out to Ward. Ward onto Flanagan. Flanagan, good short ball there for Murtagh, who's put to ground by Josh Hardcastle. Ward now hands it on to Wilson. Wilson spent some time in the sin bin, been in the thick of the action. Ollie Wilson plays it 5 metres out from the line. Ball comes out to Ward. Ward fires the pass infield for Flanagan. Flanagan just looking, stuttering, stepping, eventually goes down, losing their way a little bit on that player. That'll be the last one for the Giants. Ball comes out. Ward dinks the ball into the in-goal area. It's just battered dead there by Callum Turner. That'll be a goal line dropout. Next best thing for Huddersfield. Nice little bit of play towards the end there for the Giants. But very much second best. It has to be said, the last few 5 or 6 minutes has been a much younger Huddersfield side. Luke Robinson putting the young players on for the final few minutes to give them a chance. But Featherstone have not buckled and haven't shown any less intent from minute 1 to 80 and are rightfully in control on the score sheet as Carter comes forward, put on the deck by Akins, who's all over him. He'll play it 30 metres out. Flanagan drops off Bibby, Jack Bibby. Put on the ground there by Akins. Golding, Deacon. Deacon out to Ward. Ball comes floating over and it's picked up well there by the Huddersfield man. I believe that's Bo Morrison. This is Morrison, in fact, who comes through the middle of the field, bumps away from Openshaw, but goes down 20 metres out now. Golding to Deacon. Deacon to Greenwood. Greenwood put on his back there. Final few moments of this one. Last tackle for Huddersfield. Their last roll of the dice, you'd imagine. Flanagan digs the ball into the in-goal area, looking to chase himself, and it just gets too big on him. Goes over the dead ball line, and that will be a 7-tackle set at a 20-metre restart. Featherstone have done enough to win this game comfortably over Super League opposition. That'll give them huge confidence heading into their championship season. Challenge Cup action next week, and then Doncaster the week after to open up their season. But it's been a really good pre-season for Featherstone. They come out well on top in this one. Boothroyd, the most recent try scorer, through the middle of the field, put down by Bibby. Openshaw for Webb. Reynolds, Turner, lovely ball out wide. Gale's away again down that touchline. Gale trying to get away from his man, fires an untidy pass in field, and it finds its way to Huddersfield hands. But that will be the final act of the game. Full time here at the Millennium Stadium. It was a game that had plenty in it. Physicality, hard-hitting defence, real attritional stuff for large parts of both halves. But ultimately, a purple patch in both halves in which Featherstone hit Huddersfield with 2 quick tries in either half. Connor Jones and Zach Herring in the first half, and Johnny Openshaw and Toby Boothroyd in the second, with just a Darius Carter unconverted try in response from the visitors. Gives Featherstone a commanding full-time lead and full-time win, 24 points to 4. As we mentioned, just 16 men going into this game. Illness throughout the camp has meant loads of players unavailable for Featherstone. Huddersfield missing plenty of star power themselves due to injury in the pre-season. But Huddersfield, in truth, never really got going in this one, and they fall to their second successive defeat to Championship outfits in their pre-season. Some concerns for them, with another couple of injuries picked up in this game. But Featherstone looking really good and confident going into their first competitive Championship game of the season in a couple of weeks' time. 4 tries to 1 here at the Millennium Stadium. They've run out comfortable winners. Full time on FRTV. It's finished Featherstone Rovers 24, Huddersfield Giants 4. Thank you very much for watching. Have a very good evening.